I'm late to the pizza party, but in this episode, I'm going to review The Wonder of Splitting 5 Bananas Nightly with Willie and Freddy.
Well, isn't that cute? But it's wrong!
5 banana splits at Freddy's Wonderland.
Whoever said getting there is half the fun should be drug out into the street and shot.
5 Nights in Wonderland with Freddy's Willie.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
5 Nights at Freddy's. Wait. Did you hear that? What is that?
Thank you for clicking on my video. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate that you did.
Hello, world! I'm Chris Bichety, aka Mr. FLIXTER, and I'm here to talk motion pictures. So, 5 Nights at Freddy's. It's the new big screen adaptation of the survival horror game of the same name, created by Scott Cawthon. It's finally here after 8 years of development. Can you believe it? And it's the most anticipated horror film this year for most people.
It's now a film critic extraordinaire. No matter how you slice it, we proudly present this spoiler review. But first, we dig deep to dish out piping hot pizza puns. Enjoy! Yeah.
1, 2. Is there a new Freddy coming for you? Directed by Emma Tammy, it's filmed stylishly with brilliantly bright, vivid lights. It's so colorful.
It's Madame Matinee, darling. I only make pizza puns when I'm feeling saucy.
The opening scene feels like Saw, but a bit watered down. The impressive set designs are amazingly crafted. The attention to detail for the recreation of the pizzeria is especially astonishing.
You could say the pepperoni isn't far from the pizza. Yeah.
Jim Henson's Creature Shop worked on the animatronics.
Foxy, Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy.
They did a phenomenal job of bringing the characters to life. It's too bad they don't have more screen time, though. The problem is, too much information from an assortment of games is crammed into one film. Key points get brushed over. The overcomplicated plot goes in so many directions, somebody would need an understanding of the games just to make sense of it all.
So, darling, I ordered a pizza, and I asked the waiter, will it be long? And he told me, no, madam, it'll be round.
It's nice they had the Balloon Boy cameos. But to me, they were unintentionally funny. There's a serious lack of jump scares too, which is the biggest reason why people love the game so much. It feels more like an A24 film because it focuses too much on this recurring nightmare of what happened while Mike was on a camping trip and his little brother Garrett gets lost in the woods. For example, the games are all about working at a haunted pizzeria overnight. In the film, there's a scene where Mike falls asleep at work around 3 a.m. on the first night. The film spends more time on the dream sequence instead of building up the atmosphere of the creepy pizzeria. The same scene is shown multiple times, and each clip is a little bit longer to show you a little bit more of this dream sequence. It doesn't even feel like a Five Nights at Freddy film until about 40 minutes in, when it does the breakout scene. That's the only scene that's legitimately scary. Why wasn't the whole film like this? The screenplay is by Scott Cawthon, Seth Kudback, and Emma Tammy. I love the opening credits sequence. It foreshadows the climax well, but the script could have referred to the events in the sequence more. It might not be as obvious to people who didn't play the games that those little 8-bit sequences that they show are the way that the games tell the story. So gamers know to pay attention to stuff like that. Instead of spending so much time in the forest, it could have used flashbacks to show the restaurant in its prime. And then it could have had Spring Bonnie luring the kids to the back room. This could have built more suspense and more of the mystery so that the unmasking at the end had more relevance. This also would have been a good chance to replicate that scene at the end of the Help Wanted game with Glitch Trap and the birthday party. They also could have included the Bite of 87 as the inciting incident to start the film off instead. It just feels like there's a lot missing from this movie. It doesn't even include Henry Emily. WTF? I do have to admit though, the film does have plenty of fun references to the games. I just think it's full of a lot of bizarre writing choices. For example, there's a vicious custody battle between Mike and his aunt over his sister Abby, over some government check or something like that. She doesn't even care about the kid, she just wants the money. It just seems so out of place.
So tell me, darling, did you hear about the guy who got a second job as a pizza chef? He needed the dough. How marvelous.
I do like the spring lock scene. I thought that was really well done. I wasn't even expecting to see a live action version of that in this film, so that was pretty cool.
I always come back.
Who do you think you are, Chucky?
I always come back.
That's not the line. Say the line. Come on, say it.
I'll be right back.
One thing I don't understand though, why change the reason for why this happened to him? It plays out very differently in the film. It actually kind of reminded me of the end of Insidious 5, when he just kind of painted black over the picture, and then that was it. The kid draws a picture, and then that's it. Really? the entire cast does well in their respective roles. Josh Hutcherson is Mike Schmidt. He carries the film well, with a very strong performance given the material he's got. Piper Rubio is Abby, Mike's younger sister. I'm confused. Why is her character in this film? Nothing against her acting, she's good in the role, but her placement in the narrative doesn't make any sense. I don't get why she's in this. Elizabeth Lale is Vanessa, a local police officer. Her character, interestingly enough, is from the more recent Security Breach game. So her inclusion in this is odd to me. She's mainly there for exposition dumps, so everything that she says could have been done by Matthew Lillard instead. Over the phone, she's the most frustrating character in the whole film because of the illogical choices she makes. Oh my god, I hate her character so much. Again, why is she in this? This movie is full of a lot of head-scratching moments. Matthew Lillard is fantastic as William Afton.
I just love that reference to Scream. You know the one I'm talking about.
You may have forgotten your loyalties, but I assure you, they have not.
He's just not utilized to his full potential. He could have been the guy leaving the answering machine messages the whole time. It's kind of disappointing. Okay, it's very disappointing. I'm not even going to call him Steve Raglan. There's no point in hiding that. That was just dumb. We all knew who he was from the beginning. It's just too bad he's barely in it, eh? Instead, we get a fake mystery that isn't set up at the beginning except for the opening credits sequence. I call it a fake mystery because game fans can kind of fill in the blanks to figure out what's going to happen before it actually happens, so you can solve the outcome before you see it. That's not a mystery. They don't even introduce William Afton until close to the end. If they would have introduced him earlier on, there would be that tension and that surprise when he is finally revealed.
Kellen Goff, who plays Freddy in a bunch of the games, plays Foxy in the film.
I actually had the pleasure of meeting Kellen Goff at Fan Expo Canada in Toronto, Ontario in the summer of this year.
While I was disappointed there was no Markiplier cameo, I do love how Matt Pat was in it. Because I watch his channel, and I think he's great. Hey Matt Pat, if you're watching this, wouldn't it be great if we did a video together?
But, you know, it's just a theory.
So, overall, I know the games well enough to understand the plot, but the pacing goes from a slow-boil fake mystery to a comedy before switching to darker territory into the horror realm, and the pacing for it is just so jarring. Sure, it pulls things from a bunch of different games like the Resident Evil movies do, but there's not a cohesive story there. I still have a lot of questions. Why is this film 2 hours long when it barely focuses on the lore of the games? Why does it spend so much time in the forest when it should be focusing on the pizzeria? Why did William Afton drive to the campsite to abduct Garrett? Did Garrett become the balloon boy? Does the film need to be about a nasty custody battle with a greedy aunt? Or an estranged sibling relationship? Or a girl struggling with an abusive father? Or a man's guilt about his little brother being abducted? The latter wasn't even his fault because he was a kid at the time. I mean, really, what was he supposed to do? He was completely helpless in the matter. Why put so much emphasis on the dream sequence at all? Like, yeah, I get there's a fan theory that the whole thing in the games is like a dream. But you're really going to make the movie about that? Really? At one point, the main characters even build a fort with furniture with the aid of the animatronics inside the pizzeria. But why have that in the film? And why have it so late in the film, too? There's a big editing problem. There's a big pacing problem. Like, if that scene was earlier on, before the whole thing with the pizzeria break-in, then it probably would have made a little bit more sense.
So, how do you fix a broken pizza? With tomato paste, of course. Meow. Meow, 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 meow.
So, I think the disappointing, predictable plot is an underwhelming disservice to gamer fans. As a Blumhouse fan, I enjoyed this film more than Megan, but not as much as Black Phone. PG-13 movies can be scary. Just look at The Ring, The Woman in Black, or the Insidious films. It doesn't need to be gory, but it does need a good story. While I didn't like the Banana Splits film, I enjoyed Willy's Wonderland more than this. It had a more focused story, creepy atmosphere, and a good blend of humor and horror. This doesn't deliver any of that. Just like a bad pizza place, this film doesn't deliver. This film is so frustrating because of all the excess plot lines. Isn't the story about kids being victimized involving the dark past of a pizzeria while you have to be a security guard surviving the night with these creepy animatronics enough? I think so.
So, you think you're so tough, Freddy? You don't pepper on me. I do what I want. I can take ya. Let me at him. You wanna pizza me? Meow. Meow, 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 meow.
I expected one thing. Jump scares and atmosphere.
That's 2 jobs.
I had a similar problem with Scream 6. All this is so distracting that they forgot to make a good horror film above all else.
You couldn't just leave it alone, could you?
So, my official grade for Five Nights at Freddy's is a small popcorn.
Thank you very much for watching. Well, it looks like another one bites the crust. Meow, 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 meow.
And remember, there can be only one Freddy that will make you never sleep again. Did you know that I'm a film critic for HorrorBuzz.com? You can read my reviews on their website, and I make frequent appearances on their YouTube channel, HorrorBuzz Live, so I'll leave links below for that too. You should check it out when you get a chance.